Did you know that Teddy Roosevelt saved the game of football? It's true. Stick around and I'll explain. Today we're talking about the history of the NFL. Football was created in the late 1800s as a mixture of rugby and soccer. The rules were different than they are today, and forward passes were illegal. The only way to move the ball towards the goal line was by pushing and fighting your way forward. And these guys didn't have helmets. The sport was so dangerous that people were dying from their injuries. In 1905, 19 people died from college football, and critics were calling for the sport to be banned altogether. Fortunately, Teddy Roosevelt was president, and he loved football. He invited top college coaches to the White House to discuss other options. They initiated changes to the rules to make the game safer, including the forward pass. As time passed, the sport became more popular. There were multiple professional teams and multiple professional leagues, and it all got very confusing. College players were being illegally paid to play. Players were constantly changing to whatever team would pay them the most. There was absolutely no order. On August 20th, 1920, representatives from the Akron Pros, Dayton Triangles, Canton Bulldogs, and Cleveland Indians met in Ohio to establish a football conference. A month later, a second meeting was held to bring in teams from New York, Indiana, and Illinois. The name was changed to the American Professional Football Association, and Jim Thorpe, a famous Olympian-turned-football player, was made president. In 1922, the name was changed again, and it was now the National Football League. It had 18 teams, including the Oorang Indians of Marion, which was an all-Indian football team which featured Jim Thorpe. Although the NFL held its position as the largest professional football league, it did face some stiff competition in the 1930s and 40s from rival leagues. The Rams, Browns, and 49ers traced their roots to these rival leagues. In 1960, a new professional league emerged, the AFL, which challenged the NFL's dominance. The AFL gained popularity, secured lucrative television contracts, and engaged in a bidding war for free agents and draft picks. Ultimately, the two professional leagues started to have a game between them. It was called the Super Bowl. In 1966, the two leagues announced a merger that would be effective in 1970. This reorganized the inside of the NFL into the AFC and the NFC conferences. The Super Bowl was the championship game. Today, the NFL stands as the most popular sports league in North America. The growth is attributed to former Commissioner Pete Rozelle, who was the commissioner in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Under his tenure, annual attendance grew from 3 million to 17 million, and the 1989 Super Bowl had 400 million viewers. The 2024 Super Bowl is fast approaching. Who do you think it's going to be? Let us know in the comments.